Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So let's begin our section with a wonderful quote. Grammar is the foundation of clear communication, yet even the most delicate among us stumble into common pitfalls. Let's elevate our language game by sidestepping these 7-day, 2-day grammar gaffles. Greetings of the day. Good evening, everyone. I, Tripura Sudhapriya, being your host for today's international webinar on the topic 7 grammar mistakes that people do in day-to-day life. Extends my warm greetings and a very good evening to all of you are present here. Talking about Sense Welfare Foundation, we are a Section 8 not for a profit company registered under the Companies Act 2013 with various recognition from NITI Aayog, MSME, MPCon, TDU, GKY, and more. Recognized as a startup by DIPP, MCA, and awarded Best Service Award for National Contribution. SEMS Group, with an active network of 5,000 plus professionals, published books, and an international journal, organized education and health camps for underprivileged children, promoted digital and financial literacy, and contributed to society. Our initiative DigiSaksham has developed content for 300 plus courses in IT, DFSI, retail, and entrepreneur impacting diverse age groups. We have executed a skilling project for 600 inmates, signed MOUs for training, collaborated with various organizations, and conducted international conferences. Families, another SEMS initiative empowers women through workshops and newsletters, conducting awareness program in digital literacy marketing and career development across different industries. We have impacted over 1,000 women across states and recently celebrated a milestone of 100 women associated with the program. On behalf of the whole SEMS family, I welcome you all for today's international webinar on 7 grammar mistakes that people do in day-to-day life. And to add to our guest of honors, today's speaker is Matangi Iyer. It is a great honor to have you with us, ma'am. We're grateful for your presence here with us today. Now let me introduce to the speaker. Matangi Iyer is a 30 years old graduate of Bachelor in Financial Market, hailing from Mumbai, where the honks of the cars stuck in the traffic is music, where the vada pav is a staple fast food, where in a crowded local train someone randomly smiles at you and you smile right back at them, making your day, and there's where no one went to sleep hungry. Writing has been her hobby from eternity. It gives her peace. Writing has been my release. She has learned that the focus shouldn't be on where you have been, but on where you are going, and more importantly, where you want to go. She has been a dreamer all her life. She has always wanted to show the readers the world that she created, where the characters were her best friends. At the age of 14, her poem My Little Sister got published for the first time in the children's edition of a local newspaper. Matangi is now a full-time English teacher turned keynote speaking coach. She is on a mission to help school act first time speakers who are entrepreneurs or top executives struggling with lack of confidence, stage fear, vocabulary problems, feelings of self-rejection, and other issues related to public speaking. She has been giving lectures in schools and colleges. Even as a college student, she has been giving seminars on common mistakes made in conversational grammar, how to build confidence, and other topics of the likes.
Thank you, Tripura Sudhapriya. Thanks a
Thank
lot. That was nice of you. So just a short introduction. I'm Mathangi. She's already given, but I'm just part of my presentation. So I am Mathangi Iyer, and I've been teaching for the past 10 to 12 years. So my majorly I have been teaching only English grammar, Shakespeare for the ICSE students, and also I've been teaching some commerce subjects. Other than that, I have authored 3 books, all available on Amazon. And I'm also teaching English now at my own institute, which is Manomay. So let's go ahead. What we are going to do today, just as our host, lovely host said, we are going to talk about the 7 common. Actually, there are many mistakes, but for today's session, we will look at the seven common mistakes and how to correct them. Now, these 7 common mistakes, I will be using the grammar terms here. So anywhere you feel like you want to stop me and ask, please feel free. You can unmute yourself. So these type of sessions are usually interactive. So it is expected of you to unmute yourself and speak. Okay. So we are going to look at these 7 mistakes. Subject verb agreement, articles and the prepositions, tenses, pronoun usage, double negatives, and confusing words. Now, all of these 7 mistakes, I'm not going to go into the basics with you all. I am just going to go, with the examples of each of these and tell you why one is correct. And you have to tell me which one is the correct one, first of all. And then we will discuss as to why one is correct and why the other one is incorrect. Okay, so ready? If you would like, please keep your pen and paper ready if you want. So let's begin. Present. Yeah. Which one is so we first look at the subject verb agreement. So which one is the correct one? Anyone who would like to unmute?
Second one is correct.
Second one is correct. Okay.
Yes.
Very nice. Your name, please?
Dr.
Suraj
Sohail Khan.
Kulkarni.
Okay. Second one is correct. The first one is wrong. So, Dr. Sohail, why is the second one correct?
She is my best friend. She am, yani, it doesn't suit what, yani, the sentence is not clear. She am my best friend. Am, what is doing am here? She is my best friend is complete statement.
Superb, superb. So, am is usually used with the first person. We have learned in English grammar, first person, second person, third person pronouns, right? So, am is usually used with first person pronoun, singular. That is why, and this she is what? It is third person singular, right? So, that is why, just like he said, she is my best friend. The second one will be the correct one. In this set, anyone who would like to answer?
If I'm not wrong, the first one.
The first one. Who's this?
Again, Dr. Sohail.
Sorry?
Dr. Sohail Khan.
Okay. The first one. You say the first one is correct and the second one is wrong. Okay. So let's read both the sentences and we'll see which one when you hear which one is correct. Okay. The flowers smells
sentences.
wonderful. Sorry, Sujata. What did you say, Miss Sujata?
Second sentence is correct, I think.
Yes, the second sentence would be correct. Now let us see why. The flowers smells wonderful and the flowers smell wonderful. So usually in nouns, what we see is in nouns, when you put when you put S or ES, it becomes plural, correct? In case of nouns. But in case of verbs, when you put an S, that becomes singular verb. Now we are talking about subject verb have to agree with each other. So if the subject is plural, the verb has to be plural. Okay. So when the subject is in plural, which is flowers, the verb has to be plural. But in this case, in the first case, the verb is singular. That is why the second one is correct. Very good, Sujata. Very nice. Okay. Now the next set. Yes. Which one is the correct one?
Second one.
The second one.
Second. Okay. Now I am having only 2 people answering. But could any of you explain as to why it is the second one? It is the second one. You're right. Why?
Because we are talking about one book.
Okay.
We are addressing about one book, one student. Each student has a textbook. So have is incorrect.
Very nice. Super. So have is actually a plural noun. Plural verb, okay, and each student, so we are talking about one student at a time for one textbook, so you have to use the singular verb, just like I explained in the last one. Yeah, okay. Now this one, the last one in this slide.
The second one, again the second one.
Again the second one. Okay, let's read the sentence first. The children is playing in the park and the children are playing in the park. Okay. So second one. Now why the second one? Because of
Children is plural.
Yes, verb. Children is plural. So the verb also has to be plural because the subject, which is the noun in the sentence, subject of the sentence has to match with the verb in the sentence. That is why. Now here you can also say are playing together is the verb. Okay. So it is your present continuous, which we will see also after some time. But it is present continuous tense. This is also present continuous tense. So when the tense is remaining the same, but then because of the verb, the first sentence is wrong. Now we are going to articles. The second mistake. I hope I have clarified the first one, subject verb agreement.
Yes.
Thank you. Now we are going to the second one. which is articles. So how are we making mistakes in articles? Let's see that. Is this sentence correct?
No, madam.
I'm going
Right?
to the market.
To the market. Okay. But what if I write I am going to a market? Would that be correct?
No.
Why not?
Because market is unique thing.
But there
No,
are
market is a
many
place.
there are many markets, no? Like
Market is a place.
for example, if I want to tell you that I'm going, I'm going to market, or I'm going to the market, or if I say I'm going to a market, which means I do not want to tell you as to where I'm going. So the will also be correct. So I am known to confuse people, to confuse my students. That is why I have put this sentence. I am going to the market is also correct, and I am going to a market is also correct. It is based on the situation. For example, sometimes when it is too obvious, that time you say I'm going to the market. So then it is understood. The other person will also know which market you're going to. Otherwise, if you're talking over a phone to somebody in the US, now how will they know what market is there around here? So you are just telling them I'm going to a market close by or something like that, right? Is this correct or wrong?
But generally we use I am going to the market. We don't use I am going to a market. Yani it becomes
that you
confusing.
use. Yes, that you use when, okay, let me explain this in a better manner. So if you are talking to one of your neighbors that you're going to the market, in the neighborhood, it is understood that there is only one market and you're going to go to that market. Okay. Now, if I am a new person and you are talking to me, at that time, it is not necessary that I know where you stay or what area you are living in. So, which means I do not know how many markets are there over there, or how many which market is over there, or which market you are talking about. It could be for me, when you're talking to me, because I do not know that particular location, it could be any market for me, right? That is why when you're talking to an unknown person or a person who does not know the place that you are at, that time you use because it could be any random market for me. But when you are talking to your childhood friend or your neighbor or your family member, they know for sure which market you're talking about, right?
Not exactly. If I am saying that I am going to the market, even in that case, the other person do not know which market I'm talking about.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm trying to say. They know which market you're talking about. Because if they will know the market is, so the you usually use when you are being very specific about something.
No, see, a slight confusion. For example, I'm talking to a person who is in US. In that sense, you said that okay, I will use I am going to a market. Obviously, that XYZ person doesn't know which market I am talking about.
Okay.
Again, for example, a person who is next to me, if I'm saying him, I'm going to the market. For sure, he doesn't know which market I'm talking about. Even in that context, he doesn't know which market I'm talking about.
No, so
It depends
okay.
totally
So
on the
I'm trying to understand here. I am not saying that the market is wrong. I am saying
No.
that a market is also correct. So how have you understood that? I am not saying that the market is wrong. The market is absolutely correct. But you can also use a market is what I'm saying.
So what is the difference? What is the difference?
Yeah, I just explained. You use the when you are being very specific.
Okay.
And you use when you are being very random. Like, for example, I think you gave an example of a student, I believe, or what was it? The second
No,
one.
Of a neighbor.
Of a neighbor. Okay. So you are saying, could you repeat what you said at that time?
I said that, for example, you said a person who is sitting in US does not know which place I'm talking about. So I will say I'm going to a market.
Yes.
The next one, the person who is sitting next to me, I will not use I am going to a market because it is assumed that he knows the place.
Yes. You will say I'm going to the market. Yes.
I'm going to a market. Then how will he know which market I'm talking about?
Yeah, so I just so now okay, let us go to the the second thing that you said. Your neighbor, by your neighbor I mean somebody in your neighborhood, आपके जो the people who stay near you, okay, who've been there for many years.
Yeah, so obviously they know all the markets in and around, right?
Yeah.
So how would they know which market I'm talking about? So how in that context, why I cannot use I am going to a market?
Okay. So market is do we all know what market is?
A place to shop.
Yeah, it is not just one shop. Like for example, stock markets. When you see stock market, when I say stock market, it is a market where there are many stocks. So each is considered to be one entity. Similarly, when we are going to, I'm not sure where you are. I mean, every place has one marketplace. Yeah. where there are
Yes.
many shops, and that place is called market.
Right.
Right. So when I am in my neighborhood and when I have somebody that I know or has been staying here for a while, like I have, then we both know which market we are talking about. That is why we are talking about the market.
Right.
When I'm talking to somebody from the US, that person need not know. Maybe he or she could be knowing, need not know what which market I'm talking about. That is why when I talk to them, it is not important to them which market I go to. Let me put it this way. It is not
Okay.
important to them which market I go to. So it is any random market for them.
Okay.
So yeah, I am not sure whether you are convinced till now, but
Yeah, please continue.
tried my best. Okay, so the second one is, yeah, which is the right one?
Obviously, second one.
Second one.
Second one. Yes, because it is singular. A car.
Also a similar example. Now, can I, since we just discussed the whole thing, can I still use the here?
No.
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 Okay. Why is that?
Because it is about a single car. So
Yes.
the
A
will not
single
suit
car,
here.
single
Since you
person.
want a
It
new
is,
car.
yes, it is a personal thing. So
Yes.
for that person, it is a new car. It is very personal to them. That is why here is more appropriate. Because if I were going to talk about a new car that has come in the market, I would be specific saying new model of the car. So a new car could be 10 years old, it could be a 10-year-old car, but for me it is new because I have purchased. Okay. So words in English, no, when you are putting it here and there, they become different.
Yes.
Okay. Now the next example.
Vowel.
Which one?
Vowel.
Second one.
Second one because of vowel.
This is very specific because he is reading an interesting book.
Vowel. In a
Here,
hotel.
in a hotel. Very nice. In a hotel. Again, so wherever we have used you will see that we are not being specific about that thing, but we are talking about one thing. That is why we use a. Even in case of an interesting book, what is interesting to me will not be interesting to you. That is why an interesting book. Because interesting is a very subjective thing. It changes from person to person. And when we are talking about something specific is when we use the word, the article, the. And I'm glad that we had that discussion because we didn't have any such discussion in the last session. So I'm very glad that it happened this time. So thank you.
Thank you for clearing my doubt. I should say thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. Is the top part of the screen visible to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, so
She's
she's talking about her vacation plan. And she's
First one.
talking about, now we are talking about prepositions. Now let's understand very quickly what prepositions are. Prepositions, of course, it's not that you don't know, it's just that we are revising. So if you break down the word, it is preposition, right? Preposition. So here when I talk about pre is before, okay? And position is the position of the noun. Now here before does not literally mean before in time. It means usually preposition come before the noun. Okay, that is the easiest way for you to identify noun or of course pronoun, because when there are big paragraphs, you don't keep saying, for example, Mathangi is a teacher. Mathangi is doing so and so. So you don't keep repeating the noun. You say the noun once and then you say the pronouns. So noun or pronoun. So it is usually, pronouns are usually positioned before the noun, and they show you the position of the noun. They show you where the position is situated, right? So with that, let us see the examples. One second. Change the color. This green is not visible. Yes. Yeah. So she's talking about her vacation plans. She's talking her vacation plan. Which one is it?
First one.
Which is the right one? Yes.
one.
The one is the right one. And the second is not so right. It isn't right. Not so right. It is not right at all. He's interested in learning French, or he is interested in
First
learning
one.
French?
In learning French.
First one.
First. Okay, what if I were to put in here? Would the meaning of both sentences remain the same if I put the in here?
No, the sentence will be incomplete if we don't write in. What they are talking
but,
about.
Again, I'm talking about the position of in. So in the first sentence, it is correct. The answer that you all gave was correct. That in should be in learning French. He is interested in learning French. Okay. Now, I say if I put he is interested learning in French, would that be correct?
Yes, it is also correct.
And would the meaning remain the same?
No, meaning will not remain same.
No.
He wanted to learn the thing in French.
Yes.
And the first statement says that he wants to learn French.
French, yes, superb, very nice. So for the others, the first is learning the language of French, and if I put in before French, It would become it could be anything in the world which the person wanted to learn in the language French. So in the second, it is assumed that the person knows French. Okay, so there are two different sentences. Okay, now they are discussing about the project deadline. They're discussing the project deadline.
I feel that both are correct.
Yeah, I that's what I was about to come to. What happens is the both are used interchangeably, but
Yes.
actually when you go to the actual English thing, this one will be wrong because deadline is what it is, a particular date or a time, right? So how can you discuss the particular date or time? You can discuss about it. The difference is about it in the sense you will look at what the project is, what work has to be put in, and then you will decide about the date, which date to keep as the deadline. You cannot discuss the deadline itself. For example, 26th May is the deadline for any particular project. You cannot discuss the deadline itself. You can discuss the deadline for the project. So that is about the project deadline. So that is why the first one is correct and the second one is not. Sorry. First one is correct and second one is not. At any point, if I'm not, if my writing is not very legible, not readable, please let me know. The last one of this is she is waiting for her friend at the station. She is waiting her friend at the station.
First one is right.
First one is correct. So here, if you notice, there are two prepositions. Yeah, there are two prepositions. One is relating to the friend, which shows possession, and the other is shows location. Yeah. So and in both these cases, if you see, and even in other cases, if you see, there is a noun, and before the noun, the preposition is coming. There is a noun, before the noun, the preposition is coming. So that is something that we need to, remember and understand. Okay, tenses. This is.
If you don't mind, can you go to the previous slide? If
Yeah.
you don't mind, can you please explain the third part? Why
Yeah.
the second one is wrong? That they are discussing the project deadline.
Okay, there is a project.
Yeah.
And you have to
The
submit it.
first one is I understood. But why second
So
one is
we
wrong?
just
They are
go through
discussing
that because
the
it is the
project
same, context is the same, just the sentences are different. So
Yes.
there is a project and you are required to submit or whatever. I'm not into the corporate, so I will not be able to use the correct terms. But there is a project and you have to finish it off by so and so date. So you can discuss above the deadline based on the project that you're doing. You cannot discuss the deadline itself. You can maybe decide the deadline, right? Am I making sense? So if I'm a team leader, if you are a team leader and you're sitting with your team and discussing and deciding about the project and then the deadline based on the project that is needed.
Yes, madam. Yes,
But,
yes.
Makes sense.
but in the
Makes sense.
second case, they are saying that you are discussing the deadline itself. So how
Makes
can you
sense.
discuss a particular date?
Okay.
Right?
Got it. Yes.
So that is why the second one is wrong.
Got it.
Yeah. But we do use that in, very colloquial language during meetings and all. I have also noticed that you do use that sentence. So it is not
Sentence as well. Yes.
specifically wrong, but it is grammatically wrong.
Okay.
So it's up to you, you can.
That's why I have said that both are correct. That's the only reason I said
both are not correct, but they are used.
Yes.
So, for example, very simple examples. Cutting. Cut, C-U-T, cut, cutting. Putting. So, there is no such word in English grammar or in English dictionary as cutting or putting.
Really?
But we still use that in our day-to-day conversation.
I didn't know that.
That is where we come to tenses. So there are some words in English grammar that don't change form even if their tense changes. Their helping verb will change. The verb that helps the main verb will change. So some things like that, like we use that in daily conversation, but then they are wrong also. So it's like that.
Cut put has no ing form,
No.
Okay.
But it is, sadly, it is taught in schools that they have.
Very interesting fact. Till now, I didn't know that. Very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we are coming to tenses. Tenses is actually a very vast topic, like I was telling. And but still, we'll try to cover what we can. So yesterday, I am going to the market. Yesterday, I went to the market.
I went to the market yesterday.
Yes.
Past form.
It's past. It turns, you figure out from the first word itself. So I am going to the market. So we will also parallelly see that first sentence was if we were to remove yesterday, if we were to not have yesterday, I am going to the market would be correct. It would be in the present continuous tense, present continuous, or some would call it present progressive. Okay, so something that is happening in the present. But because the word yesterday has been used, we are intending to say that it happened in the past. So we will not use something that is there in the present. Yeah. So in the second one, second example,
Second.
Second one.
she
Second
is
one.
watching when the phone ringing. She was watching TV when the phone rang. So also the second, in this also it's
Second.
actually in all it is the, I'll just let out the secret. In all it is the second one only, but we will just see why. Yeah. So why is the second one correct?
Against past continuous, she was watching, yani she was doing something when the phone was in, phone rang.
Yes. So this is in past continuous, and the first one doesn't make sense at all. Okay. So, I mean, there is no meaning to the sentence at all. Now, the next one. He will come tomorrow if it rains. Both are the same.
Both are same, yes.
Both are the same. Sorry, I have been in this thing. He will come tomorrow if it rains. Why is it correct? Or why is it wrong? If you think it is wrong, why is it wrong? Yes?
He will come tomorrow. Sentence is correct
Okay.
if it rains.
If I were to put it this way, 1 second. He would come tomorrow if it rained. So would this still be correct? Would this still be correct? He would come tomorrow if it rained.
If it rains.
The sentence, the meaning remains the same, but I have changed the tense. Here it is my
Yes.
fault. I'm sorry. These two sentences are the same. So next we go to pronouns. Okay, second. So the book,
first
the
sentence is not
first
that
is he gave the book to he. We're looking at
To
pronouns
him.
here.
Second one.
To him. The second
So
one.
the
Yes, of
second
course,
one
the
is
second one.
correct. Okay. So both, see here in this case, he is also a pronoun and him is also a pronoun. But then this shows possession. And we are talking about another noun here which it belongs to somebody, right? So that is why this him here would be correct. She and I are going to the party. Her is bringing snacks.
Her, no. Second one. She is bringing the snacks. She
So
is bringing
even if I
snacks.
say
Second.
she and I, so the common mistake that we see here also is that people use is or am. Because we use I here, they use am, which is wrong. Because we are talking about she and I. So if we take it as either or, either she or I. In this case, what will be the sentence? Either she or I. Huh?
She or I.
Either she
Either
or
she
I
or I.
means what? Any one will go, right? So what will be the verb?
Either she or I am.
Will.
Yeah.
Will.
So what will come here in this case? In place of R, what will come? I think Sohail, Dr. Sohail answered. I'm not sure.
I
if
will
I
be.
got-
Yes. I
You
will
said?
be.
You said?
I
what?
will be.
Oh, okay. So it will be, in this case, it will be is. Okay. Even though I is used over here, there is also she being used, right? So there is no surety whether I am going or she is going. That is why we use the verb is over here. Even though I is used. And if I say the ulta of this, there is another version. Neither she nor I. In this case, what will come?
Again R.
Yes.
Neither she.
Yes,
Yes.
neither she nor I. Both of us are not going. So two is more
Yes.
than one.
Yes.
In this case, in either I, we are taking one, singular. In case of neither nor, both of them are not going. So it becomes plural. That is why it will again be are. Neither
Yes.
she nor I are going to the party. Which means both of us are not going, right? Okay, superb. So the cat licked its paw and then she cleaned it. The cat licked its paw and then licked it. Which one is correct?
First one looks to be more appropriate.
Okay, or both could be wrong also. If you want to say both could be wrong also, up to you. Just, I'll just share my screen back in a moment.
It's visible.
You can answer till the time. I'll just I'll just share my screen back in a second. Very sorry for this. So, which one is correct? The second one. What do you say?
No, first one.
First one is correct. But how do you know whether the cat is a he or a she? One is wrong. Okay, understood. But how do you
No,
know whether it's a he or a she?
generally, cats are
Generally,
being.
yes. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yes.
in that case, so both sentences are wrong. In that case, we use it.
Yeah. Yeah. You are right. Absolutely right. But commonly we use she for cat. Commonly we use. That's a common mistake we do.
There are both genders, right? Why?
Yes.
Why? In fact, we are
Yes.
nowadays being very careful with talking about a person also, because sometimes we like people are identifying nowadays as different genders. So we do not, we use gender neutral words usually, even for humans nowadays. So in this case, we do not know whether the cat is a he or a she. So it is usually it. In case of humans, when we do not know, for example, this is not a target to anyone, but in case of some certain names are such that, for example, my nickname is Tara, but I have also observed that I am a South Indian, but I have also observed that in the north, I think in the Punjabi community, Tara is
Tara
also
is
a
a
male
name.
name.
Yes, it's a boy's name. Yes.
Yes. So if a person who's introducing me does not know that I'm a female, so then they will address me as they until the time they see me or they speak to me. They will address me as they because they do not know my gender at that time. If they have not seen me, not spoken to me. So that is in case of humans, we use the pronoun they if we do not know the gender. In case of animals and in case of inanimate objects, it is it only. But in case of animals also, when we do not know the gender, it is usually it. Whether it is a male animal or a female animal. So we saw them at the store and I
Second
waved
one.
them, waved to. Okay.
Without any doubt, second one.
Second one.
Second one, I waved to them. Superb, good job.
Without any
All right, this
controversy.
is something that is considered cool because you see that in movies, in English movies specifically, but it is absolutely wrong. I don't want nothing.
I don't want anything.
I don't
Yeah.
want. So two negatives sometimes make a positive when you use it correctly, but in this case it does not. Excuse me. Okay, she didn't say nothing about the party. Now what does that mean?
She didn't say anything about the part.
Yeah, but actually when you go to see, this means the first sentence means, so according to the actual grammar rule, if we follow the actual grammar rule about two negatives makes a positive, the first sentence means that she had a lot to say about the party. But in this case, they are not meaning to say that. They are meaning to say that she didn't say anything about the party. So there are two completely different things. Okay, they never don't finish their homework on time.
The second one, they never finish their homework on time. Don't word will not come.
The second one is correct.
Yes, second one.
You're okay. Yeah. Now the next. I can't hardly wait for the concert.
Second one.
Second one.
I can hardly wait for the concert. Okay. Now this word hardly is very, very wrongly used by many people.
Yes.
So that is why I want to address that for that also here. What does the word hardly mean? Anybody?
Less than no.
Sorry?
Less than no. Actually.
I couldn't catch you actually. What did you say? You can, I mean, if somebody could hear her, could you please tell me? I was not able to clearly catch you.
Me too.
In no way, actually.
Here, hard means it was hard to wait.
Yeah. Hardly wait is can't
It
wait,
has to
right?
be
I can't wait for
difficult. Yeah.
Sorry?
A lack of time, it means. The lack of time, yani, there was no time to wait.
Yeah, meaning, I mean, I'm being very impatient. I want to go to the concert.
Yes.
I'm being very impatient. Yeah. So this hardly is very wrongly used. Okay. So
Yes.
when you work hard, you do not use the word hardly. It will give a different meaning. I have heard many people use it that I work very hardly, which means you
No,
have
I
not
work
done
very-
any work at all.
Okay.
Okay. I have worked very hard means you have worked a lot. I have worked very hardly means that you haven't done anything at all. I've hardly done anything. Means very little. I've done very little. Okay. In this case, it means impatience. I can hardly wait. Which means I cannot wait. There is very less patience that I have right now. Right. So
True.
please use the word hardly correctly. Okay. Now this will be our last, and then we'll also have a quick revision session. Tell me. Who's going to tell me?
Second one, you are going to the part. You are going to the part.
So this is a very, very, very common mistake that happens.
Yes.
And
Your.
your. Okay. This shows belonging. Means something belongs to you. You're going to the party. So the first sentence, that is why, does not make sense. The second sentence is your is a shorter version of you are, where the apostrophe is used instead of the letter A. Okay. So you are going to the party, you're going to the party. In second case,
The second one, there are too many people in the
there
room.
are too many
There
people.
is not. There. There are. Second one. Second one
In
is the
this
correct.
case, we have to also, very good, thank you very much. In this case, we have to look at the pronunciation. There and there. See how you pronounce it is?
There.
This is there and this is there. Okay.
There.
So what happens usually is both are pronounced in the same manner, which is why when you're writing, you make the mistakes of, you make these mistakes because the spelling will change, the meaning of the word will change. Okay. So there and there. Same way here. So what will this be? And what is this?
First one is a place here.
Yes.
Second one is yani it is a legal term if I'm not wrong.
Yes, but
And
how
the
do
third
you
one is
pronounce it?
yeah,
Second one is successor, here.
yeah,
And
it is
third
a
one
legal
is
term.
here,
Third
hearing,
one is to
You
listening.
hear
pronounce
something.
it as air. Okay, this is pronounced as air.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is hair. Okay, these four are similar
Yes.
pronounced words, but all four of them mean four different things. Here, like Dr. Sohail said, it is here. It is a place. Air. This is air, which is a successor. I think Miss Nana had answered. Is a successor. What is this here? HEAR.
Sound.
The sound.
Sound.
You listen to something. You listen to something. And hair, of course, सबको पता है बाल or hair,
जी.
right? So this again, this and this are pronounced the same is what people think, but this is pronounced as air. The H is silent, just like in honest or honesty. H is silent. Similarly, in air, H is silent, but in this case, hair, you will pronounce the H. You will take the sound of H. Okay, so that is something also that I've observed commonly made mistake. Okay, in this case, third case,
Yeah, I
Second
feel
one is correct.
Second one.
second one is correct. Okay,
it's
why not the first one?
yeah, I'm confused. Why not the first
Because
one?
it is
It's
written as it is for it is.
okay. It
This
is.
is it is okay,
Yes.
but why not this one? Both are pronounced the same way, no? Then why not this?
Apostrophe is not there in the first one.
Okay, then what does this mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
No, it does. It means belonging.
Yes.
For example, the
It's
cat
okay.
was licking its fur. So in that
Hmm.
case, you will use this it. Okay, for example, the cat was licking. In this case, you will use this its. It is a valid this thing only.
Yeah.
Its fur.
Yeah.
So here I am talking about belonging. Okay. And in second case, like you said, because the apostrophe is used, it is used in place of the I. So second is correct.
Second
But
is
the first one is wrong because of this reason. I hope
the
it's
same
clear.
logic goes to the next example as well.
Sorry?
Same logic goes with the next example as well.
Yes.
Who's
Yes,
going?
yes. Who's going to the game night and who's going to the game night?
Yeah.
So which one is correct
Second
then
one.
with that logic?
Second one.
Second one.
Second.
Second one is correct. The first one is wrong because
It's for belonging. Whose
Belonging,
bag
yes.
is this? Or
yes, super, awesome. That's next. So to conclude, we have hopefully corrected our 7 mistakes. First was the
Subject. Okay.
verb agreement. We saw over there that the subject, the noun and the subject, if it is what? If it is singular, the verb has to be singular. If the noun and the subject is plural, then the verb has to be plural. What was the second one that we saw?
R is R.
Article.
Articles. Yes. Yes, this is where we had the discussion about the market.
Yes.
So, articles, where you use a, an, and the. Then the next one, preposition. So, a very easy way to identify a preposition and to use it correctly when you speak is that prepositions always tell you the place of the noun or the pronoun in the sentence. That is one. And second, they are before the noun or the pronoun in the sentence. Next is our tenses. So we have only touched the tip of the iceberg. There is in tenses, there is a lot. You can go on for like close to 10 classes. So based on time, basically mistakes that you make based on time when you're speaking. Then we had our pronoun, where we had the cat example. We had many others, but the cat example was slightly tricky because, like I said, it is in my
Yes,
nature. I like to
Yes.
trick the people who come learn language. So the next one is the double negatives, and here we discussed about the word hardly and how not to use it wrongly. Yeah, so hardly is again. I'll just repeat. Hardly is where you are doing very less, or it is related to something very less. So when you
Impatience.
say to somebody that I have worked hardly instead of I have worked hard, you are creating the worst impression of yours, because when you say I have worked hardly, it means you haven't worked at all in comparison to I have worked hard. For example, I have worked hard on this presentation. I have hardly worked on this presentation. You see the difference in the sentences? So hardly has to be used very carefully. Then the last one was our confusing words. Your, there, here, and its variants. It is, it's, whose. Yes. Finally, we are done. If you have any questions, you can shoot.
From my end, there is no
Wow,
question.
ma'am, what a wonderful knowledge given by you, ma'am. I hope our audience learned many new things from this session. I would like to highlight some of the points like subject, verb, agreement, misuse of there are and there, you versus you are, it's versus it's double negative, misplaced abstracts. Now, question and answers round. Ma'am, there is a few questions which our audience wants to be answered. So, with your permission, shall we proceed with the questions?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so the first question is that what are some of the most frequently occurring grammar mistakes you have noticed people make in everyday conversation or writing?
Okay. So, across my career, I have met a few people who are also teaching others. So, it is the use of the preposition at. So, it is about look when you tell somebody, look at me versus look me. So, at me is you look at me, look at my face. And look me is a very slang, a very local way of saying search. You try and Google about me or search about me, then you'll know who I am. So one word, if it is missing, then it will change the whole meaning of the sentence.
Ma'am, so what is paraphrase in grammar? One of them is asked in the chat box.
Sorry, what is
Paraphrase in grammar.
paraphrase?
It's come in the chat box, ma'am.
Okay. So paraphrasing is basically it is a general grammatical term, but usually used in stories, used for stories of poetry. What you are doing here is you are shortening the central, without losing the central idea of the poem or the story. You are shortening the meaning. Like if you want to go watch a movie, okay? Sometimes when I'm not in the mood to watch a movie at all, but I want to know what happened. The first thing that I do when I open Google is plot summary of so and so movie. So this paraphrasing is that plot summary of that particular story that you're reading or that particular poetry that you're reading.
Ma'am, ask him or ask to him, which is correct. Actually, this is question from my wife. Both of us are listening to you. So she put a question to you. Ask him or ask to him. Which one is more correct? Although I know the answer, but I have already explained her. But she wants more authentic answer from your side.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So ask him would be correct. Okay. Ask to him is it doesn't make sense grammatically. Okay. Because with to you usually use a like for example, he went to the jungle. He went to the market. To is usually used for direction to a particular place. Usually, it is not used with a person. So he asked him, she asked him, they asked her. That's how it will be. There'll be no two in between.
Thank you. Now she's convinced with my answer earlier.
Glad to know. Yes. Any other question?
Yes, ma'am. How do I make sure I'm using parallelism correctly?
Paraphrasing.
No. Parallelism. Two lines are going parallelly, no? So that one she's asking, how do I make sure I'm using parallelism correctly?
Parallelism correctly.
Ha.
In case of what? In case of writing or what is it?
So 1 second. Naina, are you here?
What context? Yeah.
I will ask her to unmute herself. So Naina, can you please unmute yourself and ask the question to ma'am, please?
Yes, in case of poems, if I'm writing a poem, how do I use parallelism correctly? I wanted to ask that. In case of poems, or if I want to.
Poems is that anything is correct. Everything that. The main reason I went into writing is that whatever you write is correct. Because, so there is something in poem, since you're asking about parallelizing, something that is connected to parallelizing is metaphor or simile, which are two figures of speech. That is a different topic altogether. But metaphor and simile. So here for you, it could be anything because your life experiences will be different from mine. So both of us, when we are writing about the same thing, if we are writing a poetry about the same thing, it is going to be completely different. My comparison, I will say, it is a very simple example. Like there is a glass of water which is half full. You say it is half full. I say it is half empty. It's a very common example actually. So So parallelizing is first thing that we have to remove from our heads is the block is that whatever you write is correct. Nobody can challenge that. That is why also I will tell you one secret if you do not know. I'm not sure if you do. There is another figure of speech called inversion. Inversion itself, it is a figure of speech which is appreciating the beauty of the poem. Okay. And it means that the sentence is not in correct grammatical order. You see the beauty there? There is irony over there. I am teaching grammar, and in grammar we learn about figures of speech. In figures of speech, there is something known as inversion. INVERSION, inversion, where a particular line in the poem is not in correct grammatical order, but still to set the beat of the poem, the rhythm of the poem, it is used in that order. So the poet or the poetess is purposely rearranging a correct grammar sentence to match the rhyme scheme, right? So there is nothing wrong, basically. That is what I'm trying to come to. So I would love to see you actually, Nana, because you have also been participating.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for answering this question. And our next question is, how do these grammar mistakes impact the clarity and effectiveness of communication?
Yeah, so I will just, because you will relate to it easily, I will just go back to the hardly, the sentence using the word hardly. Yes, so the word hardly, again, like I said, it actually means very less. But when you want to say that I worked very hard on this project, and then you end up saying I worked hardly. Or as a team head or a team leader, you say, I worked very hard and my team also worked very hardly. Now, what do I mean from that?
Team didn't work and I only worked.
Yeah. So those two letters at the end, LY, they make a big difference. So in communication, it is not about just English. Because I am an English teacher, or I teach public speaking in English. That is why I'm talking about English. It is any language for that matter. You have to have your grammar correct.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering this question. Our next question is, are there certain grammar errors that are more prevalent in spoken language versus written language, or vice versa?
Yeah. So I have come across many students who say that adults, okay, I'm talking about adults here, students, I mean adults, who say that I am good at English, but I'm only good at writing. I can't speak. First, it is because of fear. Second, because they're not used to speaking. And these people have come out of English medium schools. Yeah. So, 1 second. Yes. So there is a difference between the English writing and English speaking. And just as we spoke about two, three examples, I told you about the putting and the cutting, and then about the what was that other example? Yeah, the discussing about the project, deadline. So those type of sentences are used casually in day-to-day life. Nobody thinks of it as anything, but grammatically it is wrong. So we have to be very careful, especially in corporate setups. We have to be very careful. And nowadays, with everything being recorded and maintained for future purposes, future reference purposes, we have to be extremely careful about what we say and write.
So, ma'am, one more is write is a verb? Someone has asked.
I'm sorry, what is it? What is the question?
Write is a verb.
Right.
Right.
WRIT.
Yes, it is a verb. You are doing an action of writing, so it is a verb. Somebody has raised their hand.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question to ask.
Yes.
It is best if the English conversation, the speaking of English, is really learnt by speaking only. The grammar way of learning English is very difficult. The grammar way of learning English is very difficult.
Somebody else's
I
mic.
don't know. Dr. Sohail Khan, Kavita Natarajan.
Dr. Sanjay, could you please repeat? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you the first time.
Ma'am, in fact, what I was telling was that English conversation, the speaking part can be learned only by practice. The more you speak, the more you are more comfortable and you can speak English well. The grammar way of learning English conversation is very difficult.
It is not exactly difficult. It is again all part of your learning to speak, right? So when a child is learning to speak something, we think that the child already knows. And
ma'am, actually, what happens is in America or say in UK, when a child is born, the child learns English the natural way. He doesn't learn English the grammar way. Like we Indians, when a child is born, learns Hindi the natural way, not the grammatical way. Right? So that way, learning English is very easy actually, and that is how Americans, when they say that labor is not LABOUR, it is LABOR.
Yeah, that is all right. What you're saying is correct, but then also, what is the guarantee that the English that you're or any language for that matter, that you're learning the easy way is the right way?
No, ma'am, actually, the more you speak English with somebody, the more you learn, basically.
I understand that, and that is why there are many, academies that teach you English speaking. I understand that
The
completely.
many academies they teach you English speaking the English way or the grammar way also.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the grammar way also, and I have seen, because I'm a professor myself, and I have seen that there are people who have very good qualifications and all, but when they come to speaking English, they deliver their lectures mostly in Hindi
Right. Okay.
because they're not very comfortable with speaking English actually.
Because they're not used to it.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're not.
That is one issue.
Because like you said that when we say a person is hardworking, we say hardworking, and if we add ly, the meaning changes.
Yes, absolutely.
And I had when I was in corporate, I had my senior. He used to come and he used to go to the juniors, and used to say, "All well or all in the well."
So yes, so that is how also what used to happen before. Now, of course, everybody is very well aware of everything. But before, like as a teacher, also when I was teaching in school, children would ask questions just to test my knowledge. So they used to do that to others also, other teachers also.
Yeah,
Now, but
because actually, ma'am, I just want to, I just am interrupting. Actually, if you learn English by, direct, indirect, active, passive, and then verbs, adverbs, and all that, I think you end up confused, or your English learning becomes a bit slowed. And if you learn the natural way, automatically, the more you speak your English somewhere, keeps on getting corrected, actually.
it does, but then how do you know you are speaking the correct way? That is why
See,
हिंदी में भी तो व्याकरण होता है ना?
no, ma'am, let me tell you, even if I am grammatically not correct, but in English communication, if I am able to communicate my ideas to the other person, my job is done.
But in Hindi also, when we are learning Hindi, like I have been in quite a few places in India.
Because Hindi also, if a person learns the grammar way, I think he'll be a very slow learner.
It'll be slow but a strong learning. Now what I
don't know,
what I have told you.
but the children who are born in Indian families, they learn Hindi, not the grammar way. It is the mother tongue. Right from the start, they learn. That's what happens for English for people like in America and UK.
But now when you are nowadays when children are going to school, they will also be learning Hindi the traditional way with grammar, vyanjan.
The grammar you should be knowing, but learning communication English. And that's why, like what I tell my students also, that yes, if you can communicate well orally in English, then your written English also improves. Because whatever you're speaking, just try to put it in black and white. So your written English also
Absolutely
improves.
true. What you're saying is absolutely true. My point is only this, that even if they are learning and it is easier to say than write, and it is easier to learn English in a particular way. I mean, speaking more than writing. How does a person know that they are doing it correctly? They have to learn grammar,
From
right?
that to, like, for example, when we say of direct and indirect, the active becomes passive, and the so on and so forth. So at times the people, while they're speaking, they become very conscious what they're doing. It's simple. Speak English. Keep on speaking. Keep on talking in English. Your English will automatically improve, and your mistakes also will also automatically get sorted out.
Right.
Yes, I feel that both are right. Yes.
Yes, any more questions?
Thank you, ma'am, for answering this question. And our next question is, can you share any memorable or honorable examples of grammar mistakes that you have encountered in real life?
Yeah, the examples that I was giving you right now also. There are many teachers. Now what happens is, specifically for teachers, let me not generalize it. Specifically for teachers like us, it is very important because we are molding minds. We are molding small minds. So we have to be correct with what we are saying and writing on the board. Because when I was in school, I had a teacher who was teaching us geography. not English, geography. But I've come out of an English medium school, and the teacher has made mistakes on the board in front of the students. Okay, and it is not a very, so the students then don't take the teacher seriously. The students don't take the teacher seriously because of that reason. Because they start thinking, like I was just telling you, as I was a teacher and the students would ask me questions thinking that I wouldn't know. And honestly, some one or two questions I wouldn't know and I would answer. But then when I would answer to them, they would be impressed. Okay, now this, so they would give me a certificate saying that I am eligible to teach them. So that is how it is. That is how people think. Now, when you are teaching a particular thing, at least the basics have to be clear. That is, yes, Naina, I think you've raised your hand.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
ma'am. You just said that we are nurturing and molding the small minds. I would say we are nurturing and molding the young minds. And small minds, it changes the meaning again.
Thank you. Young minds. Yes.
ma'am, can I ask you a question again?
Sure.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, English is a language which has come from Britain. What's the difference between American English and UK English?
Just like what you had just pointed out, sir, usually the spellings.
The spellings, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
usually the spellings. It's just that the Americans are not very
But I think there is a difference in the pronunciation also. The
pronunciation because
accent.
of accent. We also have a very different accent.
Yeah.
So there is UK, US, then Indian, Australian. So it is because of the accent.
Okay. And what and like normally it is that a lot of words from French has come into English and all, right, ma'am?
That is because they are around in the same place, first of all. And even in many words in English and even in French and even other languages over there, the words originate from Sanskrit and Tamil.
Oh.
So we are coming back to our roots only through the. So see, I consider English only as a language. I am not, promoting it as you should know English. But if you are speaking in English, you have to speak it correctly. Just like you're speaking in Hindi, you have to speak it correctly. When you're speaking in any other language, you have to speak it correctly. Just like that, I'm just promoting that if you're speaking in English, you have to speak it correctly.
No,
I'm
ma'am,
not
it is.
against any other language. I'm not in support of supposedly English. I'm just saying that you have to speak it in a correct
No, ma'am,
manner.
it is an international language,
Yes.
and of course, most of the MNCs they prefer their employees if they can speak in English. Another thing is that we normally say that if you know good English, you are 70%. I don't know the percentage exactly, but you are successful.
Yeah,
If your
because
English
you
is
are
good.
able to reach a wider crowd. For example,
Yes.
if you were to learn French and German and what are the other languages? Maybe
Spanish.
Arabic. If you are to learn that and you are to be very proficient in those languages, you would cover even a wider audience than you already do. So it is not just like I said, it is not just English. So when I obsess over English with my friends or my colleagues also, I always say this because they think ये तो मतलब अंग्रेज चले गए और इसको छोड़ गए. So it is not about my obsession over English. It is mostly about the story. It is about the poems. It's about the poetries. So I am also trying to learn, to read my mother tongue Tamil so that I can read works of Tamil literature. I am trying to learn to read Kannada so that I can read works in Kannada literature. That is Hindi. I am also trying to figure out some books. I want to read Rashmi Rathi by Dinkar because I have heard a lot about it and I've heard people the part that I love is Krishna ki Chetavni. Beautifully it has been written. So that is I'm wanting to read that more. So that is not it is just English is just a language just like any other language.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a very good piece of advice given to us, ma'am. Again, thank you all for attending today's webinar. And if you have any additional question, you can connect with us by email or telephone. We are happy to provide additional support to you. Please follow us on our social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel